Hello and welcome to the Next ReeVlog. It may look like I have an actual background, but I don't. I'm just sat on my bed. However, I will be talking today about yesterday and the plans for the rest of today, and how I didn't get very much sleep. So, I got up, as usual, when my alarm went off to go turn it off because it's the other side of the room. And crashed pretty quick back into sleep after that because I've got my second alarm and I didn't get back to bed until about 3 a.m. So when my first alarm goes off at like 20 to 6 or something, I was definitely in need of more sleep than that. Then I got more sleep. It's a seemingly adequate amount, but I still feel like I need more. I also need to trim the fangs, apparently. But that's because D&D went on for a bit longer, which is perfectly fine. I'm very happy with that. It was a one-shot. I was playing a monk. It was great. Yes, the type of monk I was playing was completely useless for the most part in the setting, because there wasn't like magic. Because I designed an anti-magic monk subclass. There's also a paladin one and a cleric one. And then, like, the only time it was actually really useful is when I met Dr. Stephen Strange, because the whole premise of, like, the Infinity Maze, which is the thing that the DM created, is where things get put, powerful things and whatnot. And every so often, they have to bring people in to fix a problem, which is usually, because the Infinity Maze is like connected to all realms somehow, when something goes wrong with a fictional thing. For example, when we first did it, there was Scooby-Doo, there was Pirates of the Caribbean, there were other things, and this time we had Care Bears / Aliens, Lord of the Rings / World War II. We had what's it called? Star Wars. We had Marvel, like the MCU, and there's one more. Don't remember it. Oh, Halo, for some reason. I have nothing against Halo, I just don't like it myself. And it wasn't really any of the interactive things we did, they just sort of turned up at the end. Anyway, so it was really cool. When I met Dr. Stephen Strange, I was like, handshake, and I was like, he needs to make a con save. The DM was just like, he fails. I was like, cool, he can't do magic for the next 24 hours. Brilliant. But yeah, like I loved the premise of it. Like the first one is we had to defeat the alien queen to save the Care Bears. Then the second one, I think, was the Marvel one, where it was like the Apprentice, and we had to go and make a machine and a brand that will destroy the Avengers. And technically, my thing is the thing that ended up getting used, because I designed the Infinity Gauntlet, got one of the Infinity Stones, and started work on getting the next 3. Whatever. Time Stone's broken though, because I ended up with it in the last fight, and the DM was just like, yes, running out of power, because I was doing some crazy shit, which, you know, is what you can do with the Time Stone. Like, you just have to think about it properly. And yeah, I managed to win the end fight, because there was a fight against J.K. Rowling, but she's like the ultimate backtracker. So if you damage her or anything, she'll just rewrite it and be like, "Nah, I didn't get damaged." And then eventually we pointed out the fact that she apparently said at some point that Hermione could be black, But apparently somewhere in the book there is the line Hermione's white face. So we used that against her, so she couldn't think clearly, and then she summoned a bunch of wizards to help her, and then the Reality Stone turned them all into a weird amalgamation of Crab and Goyle. And then there was all of the different verses appeared, starting with Halo, and in each turn another one rounded up. And then eventually the leader of the Infinity Maze, some uber powerful god creature, was just like, right, well, as I've got you all here, I want to see which fandom's the best. Go. And it was pretty epic fight, if I do say so myself. Because we had the King of the Manticores, who is a large creature who's really fat, not traditional manticore, it's like bipedal, but it's like party animal, rat of Valhalla. Then we had Zenshi, the trickster thief, arcane trickster rogue. We're all level 20 by the way, and the King of the Manticores is a barbarian. Then we had me, the anti-magic monk. We had a druid and a paladin, which was really cool. And then we also each had like champions and fodder soldiers. The fodder soldiers all went first. Lord of the Rings survived for the longest, but got decimated by the paladin, who had a gravity hammer from Halo. I don't really know much about that, but whatever, cool. Meanwhile, the trickster thief person was the first one of the group to go down, because after we took down all of the enemies, apart from the Balrog, not entirely sure what the Balrog was doing. We might have got taken down at some point, I don't know. Probably did with the Reality Stone or something. I stunned the dude who had the Infinity Gauntlet, took it off, used the Space Stone to throw the Infinity Gauntlet through it, make it a fair fight. Because my character's whole deal was they're about self-improvement, and whilst they could have won with the Infinity Gauntlet, they would prefer not to. They would prefer to find a way to use the bot themselves in order to win. So, got rid of it. Meanwhile, shortly before that, the trickster thief tried to sneak up behind the Magical King. The Magical King, who was wearing the Infinity Gauntlets at this point, minus the Time Stone. I still had that, even though it wasn't working. It was like, I see you. Use the Reality Stone to turn them into jam. And then hit them with half of a dead horse wrapped in alien carcasses. Yay. And yeah. It was pretty cool. All of the people who used weapons got like some pretty sick weapons. I did get one, but I just didn't use it because, again, that he's all about using himself for maximum greatness, and he knew that like every time he's died in the past, he'd come back. So if he dies, it's just another opportunity to learn from. So yeah, there's that, and that left the Manticore King, the Paladin, the Druid, and me. So I went to go and fight the Druid. The Druid was like technically in sand form and had a wall of thorns around them, so I was just going to wait them out. But because it was getting really late, this was like midnight, half past, something like that, the DM was like, right, I shrink the arena, the wall of thorns disappears, and he's no longer in sand form. And so I was like, cool. The Paladin takes down the Manticore King, because the Manticore King's been using like the Relentless Endurance thing, or Relentless Rage or something like that, where if you get knocked out, you just go to 1 instead if you make a con save, starting at DC 10, and then it goes up by 5 every time you use it until, I think, a long rest. It might be a short rest, but I think it's a long rest. yeah, he'd been using that, and then eventually the con save got too high, and he couldn't make it. Boo! Which left me, the paladin, and the druid. Me, being an anti-mage, stopped either of them from doing magic beside cantrips for 1 minute. Which isn't very long, but it's long enough. So, the druid was just like beast shape. Because by doing any magic, it's casting spells specifically. Because of the way I've worded it, I might need to change that. Because, you know, whatever. I might, like, include... It might be, like, any form of magical thing apart from activating magic items, that they can still use cantrips. But the paladin obviously couldn't. But they had, like, crazy radiant swords and lightsaber... Not a lightsaber, and a gravity hammer. The Trickster Thief, by the way, had a lightsaber that did 60-10 radiant damage. And then they had 10d6 sneak attack, because, you know, level 20. But yeah, I ran out of key points, they couldn't do magic. So it was going to be a big old fisticuffs, but I'd taken a lot of damage. So I only had... 65 health left out of 200 and something, and I had no idea what they were on. So I decided I will run up the wall onto the roof and use the dodge action. Because we play hard and loose with the rules in these one-shot thingies, because they're so weird. So I did a bonus action attacks without using the action to attack. But I don't think that's too unreasonable, really. I did it within, like, all the rules, apart from the fact that you meant to use the attack action in order to use the bonus action attack. And part of that, as well, that I find weird, is that, like, you can't cast a spell and then the bonus action attack. Like, I feel as though if you can do a bonus action attack, you can do a bonus action attack. You don't have to use the attack action first unless it's part of, like, a wombo combo. Then if it's part of a wombo combo... Like, monks, they can do wombo combos, they're effectively martial artists, but you don't need to. Just, like, do a quick, like, flicking kick to the nads or something. Jeez. But yeah, yeah, so it was a bit of a brawl at that point, and then the room was real small, and the druid decided, you know what, I'm going to be like a giant squid, or something like that. There wasn't enough space, we all had to make con saves, mine was the highest, so I survived the longest, and I won. Yay. But, yeah, I should have played different monk subclass, really, because I made another one yesterday whilst I was walking back from university, but I never actually made the character for it, because I wanted to playtest this one, but it was pretty useless. Counterspell came in useful. That's where most of my key points went. But still. Anyway, I'll catch you cats on the flip-flop.